I've always been obsessed with military history, especially stories of brilliant tactics and clever ambushes. Think about it. The perfect ambush is a masterpiece of strategy. It's about patience, precision, and predicting your enemy's every move. For years, I studied famous examples, from ancient battles to modern warfare. I thought I understood what made them work, what made them fail. But then I stumbled upon a story that turned everything I thought I knew on its head. It's a story about an ambush that was, by all accounts, flawless. The plan was perfect, the execution was precise, and victory was all but guaranteed. Until one person, an ordinary woman with no military training, single-handedly ruined the whole thing. The story takes us back to the rugged hills of Afghanistan. A special forces team was on a critical mission to intercept a high-value target. This wasn't just some random patrol. It was the culmination of weeks of intelligence gathering. They knew the target's route, his schedule, and the size of his convoy. The team leader, a seasoned veteran we'll call Sarge, picked the perfect spot for the ambush. It was a narrow pass, a natural choke point where the convoy would be forced to slow down. High ground on both sides offered excellent cover and firing positions. They had everything: the element of surprise, superior positioning, and overwhelming firepower. The team set up their positions under the cover of darkness, camouflaged and silent, blending into the rocky landscape. They were ghosts. They waited for hours, motionless, as the sun began to climb, heating the dry air. Everything was going exactly to plan. The trap was set. Right on schedule, the distant rumble of engines broke the silence. Through his binoculars, Sarge saw the dust cloud of the approaching convoy to pickup trucks packed with armed fighters. Exactly as Intel had predicted. His team was ready. Fingers were on triggers, eyes were on sights. The tension was electric. In just a few more minutes, the lead vehicle would enter the kill zone, and the operation would be over in a flash. Victory was so close they could almost taste it. And then, something completely unexpected happened. From a small, mud-brick hut on the side of the hill, a place they had observed and dismissed as empty, a woman emerged. She was carrying a large, colorful rug. She walked calmly to a dusty patch of ground right in the middle of the road, right in the center of their kill zone. And she started shaking out the rug. Dust flew everywhere. Sarge and his team were in disbelief. What was she doing? She couldn't possibly know they were there. She was just a civilian going about her morning chores. But her timing was impossibly, disastrously bad. The lead truck of the convoy, now just a few hundred yards away, saw her. It slowed down, then came to a complete stop, waiting for her to finish and clear the road. The woman seemed to be in no hurry at all. She shook the rug with incredible thoroughness, turning it over and over. She was creating a traffic jam in the middle of a perfectly planned ambush. The convoy wasn't moving. They were sitting ducks, but they were outside the kill zone. The element of surprise was evaporating with every second that ticked by. Sarge's team was frozen. Opening fire now would be messy. It would risk hitting the civilian, and the enemy was alert, no longer driving into the trap. The lead fighter in the first truck grew impatient. He honked the horn. The woman just glanced over her shoulder and continued shaking her rug. He shouted something at her. She ignored him. This went on for what felt like an eternity. Finally, she casually folded her rug, draped it over her arm, and slowly walked back to her hut, disappearing inside. But the damage was done. The convoy, now suspicious and on high alert, refused to proceed. The drivers began to slowly and carefully turn their vehicles around. The opportunity was lost. The target was escaping. Sarge made the tough call. Stand down. Mission is a no-go. They had to let the convoy leave. The perfect ambush, weeks in the making, was completely thwarted by a woman and a dusty rug. The team packed up their gear, frustrated and bewildered. They had been outsmarted, not by a military genius, but by a simple act of daily life. Later, they learned the truth. The woman was not just a random civilian. She was part of a local warning system, a lookout. Her job was to watch the pass. Shaking a rug wasn't a chore. It was a signal. A simple, brilliant signal that there was danger ahead. No radios, no technology, just a pre-arranged sign that was invisible to the most advanced military force in the world. It was a humbling lesson. It shows that sometimes the most effective tactics are the simplest ones, and that you should never ever underestimate your opponent or the power of a woman shaking a rug. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more.